Hey parents and students. Parents, if your student's not watching this with you, would you go get them? Make sure they get a chance to see this. If they are, then let's go through this. This is a really important video, not just for you as parents, but also for you as students, to make sure that you know what our expectations as leaders and as a ministry are for you, so that when we're at camp, you're in line with everything and we can just enjoy the whole week. We can have as much fun as possible and maintain a sense of spiritual growth in that environment, that atmosphere where God can pour into your life and He can pour into everyone around you. So please make sure you're paying attention and following along. You will receive, like I mentioned earlier, a packet with a lot of detail on all the expectations for students and parents, all the other rules and everything, and so much more detail. So please go through that. But right now, I want to do a quick overview of what these rules, what these expectations are. So in order to make sure that I stay in order and that I cover everything, I've got my notes with me. So if you haven't read that attachment yet, that's fine. Just get it later. Make sure you go through it with your student, and then we'll kind of be open to questions. If you've got anything you need to know, anything you want me to clarify, just email me, send me a direct message on Instagram or social media, or you'll have my cell phone. It's all attached in this information. Just send me a text. We'll go over anything you or your student want more clarification on. All right, so let's get started. Number one, there's not many. Number one, all clothing should be modest. We are spending a week playing in the hot sun, being outside, running around. Please make sure that you're wearing appropriate athletic attire that you can move around in without having a heat stroke, okay? There'll be plenty of water and stuff around, but make sure that you have appropriate clothing for the environment and what we will be doing. Then make sure it's modest. All right, we want to make sure that we're upholding an attitude of modesty, both boys and girls, all right? So for everybody around, make sure your outfits are modest. This will include bathing suits. As policy, Von Clarken is requiring that all females wear one-piece bathing suits. If you do not have a one-piece bathing suit and cannot find one, that's okay. Make sure that you have a dark tank top or shirt to wear over your top that must go from the top of your shoulders to the top of your bathing suit bottoms and cover you completely. Again, this is a Von Clarken policy, and we want to make sure that we're respecting them and what they expect of us. So please wear an appropriate bathing suit, and guys, this also applies to you. No Speedos, all right? Nobody wants that. Make sure you're covered up. Make sure your bottoms are long enough to go down somewhere close to your knees. All right, boys and girls, modest, appropriate attire for the entire week, okay? If there's any issues with bathing suits or any other outfits, a leader of the same gender as the student will approach them and have a quick conversation about, hey, let's find something a little bit more appropriate. If you've got any questions or concerns, the best attitude to take is avoid the risk and play it safe, all right? If you don't know if an outfit or a bathing suit's too risque, play it safe and go with something else. All right, rule number two, follow the schedule, excuse me, and be on time to all events. We want to make sure that we are where we are supposed to be when we're supposed to be there. This is simple enough. We have an insane amount of free time scheduled for our students to hang out, play whatever games they want to, interact with other leaders, do all kinds of fun things. But in order to maximize that free time, we have to make sure that we are at the appropriate places, the appropriate times. When those things begin to run over because we had to wait, because somebody was missing, they weren't where they were supposed to be, then it'll start eating into our free time. So in order to have as much fun as possible, please follow the schedule, and students, make sure you are where you're supposed to be at the right time. From meal times to lights out to bedtime to free time, everything. We want you where you're supposed to be so we can have the best week possible. All right, number two, it sounds kind of similar, but it's a little different. Do not leave the premises, okay? Do not leave the campus. There should be no reason for any student to leave the campus outside of a medical emergency, which will be approved by me and the camp nurse. So under no circumstance should a student just say, hey, there's a road, I'm gonna go walk down that road. No! Stay on the camp premises and make sure that no one leaves without the appropriate permission from me, Hugo. No one else, no other leader can say, hey, just leave. No. You need to talk to Hugo and make sure that we know what's going on. That's for your safety, that's for everybody's safety, all right? Number four, students and adult leaders are supposed to be in the areas that they're supposed to be, all right? Von Clarken is slightly big and has some other resort style things going on, that we're not doing, that we're not involved in. And so therefore, we need to stay in our area. We'll make sure these areas are clear. Once we get to Bon Clarkin, each child will have a map and an area where they're supposed to stay in. We'll go over that in detail. Please make sure that you're respecting the other people using the facilities who are trying to have vacation with their own families. So it's really important that we're staying in the appropriate places at the right times. All right? Next, this is going to be a little hard, but no phones or electronics during the week. We go into it in a lot more detail in the packet, so make sure you read it. But here's what we're doing. Basically, we want to separate you from any distraction, temptation, or potential bad influence that you might have speaking into your life, because we want to make sure that your connection to God is wide open, full throttle. We want God to be speaking into your life and for you to have everything off your plate so that you can hear that small, quiet voice of what God is calling you to, what He's asking you to do, and how He wants to change and improve your life. And so we want you just focused on Him completely. And that's why we're asking, no phones, no electronics, no PSPs, no Nintendo Switch, no beepers, no cell phones, no Walkman, no computer, no laptop, no desktop, no anything else you can think of. All right? Don't bring any electronics. Our leaders will have contacts. Don't worry about it. You just come ready to connect with God. That's what we expect of you. That's what we ask of you. All right, next. Two people of the opposite sex cannot be alone together at any time. This is for your safety and your reputation as a student. We don't want anybody accusing anybody of anything that didn't happen. So make sure you are walking in groups of 3, what we call the trio system. 3 students at all times moving from one place to another, or find a leader to go with you. That's fine, but you should never be alone with somebody of the opposite gender. Your safety, student safety all around, just be wise, make good choices. So, walk in groups of 3, never in groups of 2. Almost done, just a few more. There's absolutely no guys in the girls' cabin, no girls in the guys' cabin. Let's explain it. Let's just go ahead and explain it. Let's make sure we got it covered so nobody has any questions. Look, there should be no reason for you, if you're a male, to be in a female cabin or the other way around. There's nothing going on in there this week that you need access to. Absolutely nothing. If your sister is in the other cabin and you forgot your toothbrush but she has it, ask a leader. We'll go get it for you. And I'm pretty sure your sister doesn't want to share a toothbrush with you, so you might be out of luck. Here's the thing, there's no reason for a guy to go into the girl's cabin or a girl to go into the guy's cabin. We are going to take this very seriously. If you're not complying to this rule, it could potentially lead to you being sent home. So please make sure you're paying attention, you know where you are and where you're not supposed to be. All right, next one. Do not leave your room after lights out. We have extended lights out to pretty much the end of the day. I think a couple more minutes and it's going to turn into the next day. All right? So you've got plenty of time to hang out with friends, to enjoy free time and do all kinds of things. Once you're in your room, once it's lights out, stay there. This is for your safety, our leader's safety, everyone around. I'm sure you're getting the idea now. Safety is important. Stay in your room after lights out. We need to know where you are in case of an emergency so we can come get you and make sure you're in the right place. So, lights out, stay in your room. All right, awesome, almost there. Next one, no alcohol, drugs, weapons of any kind, including knives, pocket knives, no tobacco or vaping accessories, and no pornography. All of this is not allowed at camp. These things are dangerous. They're dangerous to you and your health. They're dangerous to the atmosphere that we're trying to create and which God is trying to reach out to you. So please do not bring any of these things with you on the trip. This is really important. This is another one of those things that could potentially get you sent home. Do not bring any fireworks, weapons, inappropriate material, alcohol, drugs, any substances that are not prescribed by your doctor. Don't bring anything like that because it'll end your trip incredibly quick. So make sure none of those things come with you. All right, here we go. If you are aware of any students engaging in any activity that is inappropriate or dangerous, you are expected to tell a leader. Here's the thing, safety, right? We're trying to keep everybody safe. We're trying to enjoy the week. We're trying to have as much fun as possible. And we're trying to allow God to speak. We can't do that if people are getting hurt and doing dumb things. So we're asking you, if you see something happening, please say something. Help us make this the best week of the year by keeping everybody in the same place and ready to hear from God, all right? Please respect the facilities. Bon Clarkin is a great place for us to go to camp. We can't go back if we destroy it. So please make sure you're respecting the facilities and the people running the place, the people who are around us, all right? Just be kind and be generous and be respectful, okay? And lastly, think intelligently and make wise choices. You are big kids now. We want to give you a lot of freedom, but we're going to raise the bar and expect you to meet it, all right? If you can't meet it, then we have to start taking away freedom. So please think through your choices, make wise choices, and join us as we have an amazing week at camp. We're really excited. Again, if you have any questions about any of these questions, email me, call me, text me, send me a message, reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to explain or clarify anything that I've discussed, all right? We'll see ya, and we cannot wait for camp.